Curtain Jerks is brought to you by Audible.com. Get your free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android. Whoa! Lightning! Smoke!
Yeah, love to read. Yeah,
Macho Man Randy Savage, what are you doing here?
Yeah, love to read. Talking about reading, yeah, got a book right here,
Hey, wait a minute. You know, with audible.com /audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network.
There's a lot of slashes in there. I don't know if any of those are accurate.
Really? Let me try that again. You know, at audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network, you can read things with your ears on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle, or your MP3 player.
What do you mean? I don't have to pick up a book no more?
Yeah, you had the most muscular pinky I'd ever seen when you picked up that book.
That's right. See, the problem is that I have with books is they're my enemy, yeah. Because I always get paper cuts. That's why I always got tape on my fingers,
Macho Man Randy Savage, you don't have to cut your fingers anymore on books. You can listen to these books.
No more paper cuts?
No more paper cuts.
The beauty of Audible is I got no more paper cuts, so I can read even more with my ears.
That sounds like a hell of a slogan. The beauty of Audible is no more paper cuts.
No more paper cuts for the Macho Man, no. So you telling me that I gotta pay for no more paper cuts?
See, that's the beauty part, Macho Man Randy Savage. With this, you get a free audiobook once you use the Curtain Jerks promo code.
Free audiobook? Yeah, dig it.
That's free, and then you're also going to be free of paper cuts.
Free of paper cuts, free downloads, free everything. The show is free. I like it.
You know what, Macho Man Randy Savage? You're welcome.
Let's go to the circus.
Let's do it.
Welcome, everyone, to Curtain Jerks, right here on the Comedy Podcast Network. I'm Scott Narver.
And I'm Steve Sears.
Steve's back, everybody.
I'm here. I made it.
Yeah.
What happened last week, right?
Oh, jeez.
Oof.
He's back.
I'm back, and I'm bad.
Yeah.
Had a really good time.
Good.
Yeah, got some sweet interviews, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you score Phil Ranta?
I don't know, it's just like I saw him, and I was like, hey, man, do you have some time? Let's do a podcast.
Hey, stop doing the dishes, bro.
Yeah, I know it's wildly off topic, but maybe you could talk about some internet stuff with me. I'm glad you're back.
Hey, I am back. That's right. I'm back in the United States of America.
How's it feel?
Good.
Yeah?
Not cold anymore.
How does that warm sunshine feel on you, that warm California sunshine?
Oh, it pours through the clouds.
It does. It literally pours through the clouds. That's why they call us the pouring state.
Yeah, they call us the pouring state for that very, very reason. Little known fact, everybody.
Do you kind of feel like the last son of Krypton, just sort of sucking up all those energy beams from the sun?
I do, but I tried to lift this can that was in the street, and I couldn't do it. So maybe my superpowers are yet to take
you gotta be careful. Flight. You gotta be careful. We can't put a giant red lens in front of the sun and take away all your powers.
Yeah, because then I definitely won't be able to pick up that can.
I finally got to see Man of Steel.
Yeah?
Yeah, I told you about this. It was awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. People
really
shit on it for no good reason.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
Really good. I'm excited for, now, I'm sort of bummed that I knew that there was going to be the Batman versus Superman movie, because as soon as it ended,
just want more Superman,
now I just want more Superman.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I've ever said in my life I want more Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not a Superman fan.
The people say that, but they are. Shut up. You are. You love Superman.
I like Superman when he's dealing with something unique and interesting, like another Superman. Like the fact that he was going up against Zod, awesome. But if he was just dealing with petty criminals,
when does that happen?
The beginning
Other than the 40s.
The beginning of Superman Returns.
That movie sucks.
It has its moments.
No, it doesn't. He gets stabbed with kryptonite and broken off in him, prison style, and then he lifts up an island of kryptonite.
By Kumar.
Oh, was it? No, I thought it was Harold.
No, that was Kumar. Yeah, they named the Korean guy Kumar.
What are you talking about? It was Kevin Spacey that did it. It was Luthor.
Kumar was just there to sort of like slap him around a little bit.
Was he in it?
Yeah, Kumar was in it.
I thought you were calling Kevin Spacey something super weird.
Zach Penn, that's Kumar from Harold and Kumar.
I never seen it. I don't do drugs.
I've never been high and seen a Harold and Kumar movie.
Have you been high and watched Superman Returns?
No, I wish.
That might make it way better.
And it's a great movie. Oh, Superman Returns.
Yeah,
yeah.
see?
No, I was I was so hungover when I saw Superman Returns. Oh God, I was so hungover before Superman Returns. I was in front of a Noah's Bagels on Lakeshore Avenue in Oakland.
Okay.
My friend was gonna use the bathroom. Like this is exactly what happened. My friend was getting a bagel at Noah's Bagels.
Mm-hmm.
I was so hungover. I went to the bathroom. I peed, and I was like, I should probably throw up. I am not feeling good. And then I made it into the Noah's. Like I left the bathroom, and I was like, God, I don't want to be in here. It smells like bagels. Went outside, sat down in front of Noah's Bagels.
They take great insult to that, by the way.
Yeah. It smells like bagels in your bagel store.
That's what we were trying for.
So I'm sitting on the patio area on Lakeshore Avenue, which is a very family-friendly street in Oakland. Parents and strollers walking by. I'm sitting there, and I go, and it goes, and it fills, and I swallow it.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I'm not going to do this, not in front of all these people. And then it happens again. It goes, and I just go, blork. And then I just I threw up all over my shirt and my pants and in front of that Noah's Bagels.
None of it hit the sidewalk or street.
It was
all on myself.
It was a sitting down throw up.
Oh, my God.
And so I then quickly, ran away. There's a park right up above Lakeshore Avenue, right around Mandana, and I went to the park. I took my shirt off and threw it away, and then waited at the park for my friend. And then we went and saw Superman Returns.
With throw-up pants?
No, what happened to my pants? I can't remember what happened to my pants. Most of my vomit was on my shirt, but I remember throwing that. I remember it's like, when you shit yourself and you throw away your boxers?
No, I don't.
You've shit yourself before. You've never shit yourself? There's a situation where if you shit yourself in public,
not in public.
But if you shit yourself in public, what happens is you go to a restroom, you take off your pants, you take off the boxers, you throw the boxers away, you clean up with some paper towels or whatever, and then hopefully your pants are okay, and you free ball it for the rest of the day. But there's always you always throw away the boxers if it happens in public.
If it was in public and I was at a restaurant, I think I would like to be able to do this. That I'd like to just stand up and go, "This linguine made me shit myself. I'm not paying for this."
Well, then you got the maitre d', who's super snooty, is going to come over and be like, "Evidence?
Here you go."
No.
Just to not pay that $25 for that linguine.
That's a lot for a linguine.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice place. They have a maitre d'.
It's completely different than, I feel like throwing up, you want to sort of avoid, you don't want people to know, but you can't because you just fucking became a human geyser of waste.
And you went, barf!
You literally say barf. And then if you shit yourself, you don't want anybody to know, so you go secretly to the bathroom, and you're like, oh my God, I sharted,
Yeah, when people could tell the way you're running, though.
Yeah.
It's like a Santino Marella power walk.
Yeah, exactly. You got to clench.
Oh my God, Santino shits himself before every match.
He's in gorilla position, really forcing it, and then he just goes for it.
Comes out, salutes, waves, and oh no.
Mm-hmm. That's why he has that funky accent, because he's so
nervous.
He's so nervous.
See, everybody, we're big wrestling fans.
Big wrestling fans.
We have a lot in the show today. We've got an interview with Alex Shane coming up later in the show. Semi-retired professional wrestler and creator, not co-creator, he didn't nothing with nobody. Creator and executive producer of Sky's WrestleTalk TV. That'll be coming up a little later in the show.
Later, mean.
Oh, man, I should have done more vocal warm-ups before the show.
Well, it's funny because you come back with a Canadian accent even though you went to the UK, so...
I try to be really nice.
No.
There's not a lot of smiling and eye contact in the UK from what I noticed.
Maybe it's because it's cold as shit.
Could be that. But I try and flash a smile when walking down the streets and stuff. Wouldn't get it back.
Really?
Yeah, even the smirk smile, like the eyebrows go up and the head nod, kind of like, hey, how are you?
Do you get a head nod?
No, none of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, mostly lookaways.
Were you, was it because you were wearing your American flag pants?
Yeah. And there's vomit on them.
Yeah, that's probably an issue.
I borrowed them from you.
Yeah, that's so. Those. Yeah, I got you. I wonder what that is.
It's vomit.
Oh, is it the vomit? It's a vomit on you.
I'm still wearing them.
Oh, okay.
Wore them on the plane.
Okay.
Just spreading freedom. That's what I say when I vomit wearing these pants.
I think
I'm spreading freedom.
I'm not sure, but I think it might be illegal to throw up on the American flag.
Probably.
I'd assume so. I think even more so than that, I think it's more offensive to wear the American flag as pants.
True, with your junk on the inside.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit more offensive. It's both offensive.
It's both offensive.
And because after you throw... No, never mind.
So I went to England to learn about professional wrestling, British style. Went to go watch the Impact Wrestling Tour. I saw 2 out of the 4 dates that there were. I saw Manchester and I saw Wembley. Turns out it's not Wembley Stadium. It's Wembley Arena. I still might have that backwards. I can't wrap my head around it that they have 2 locales of the same name. There's no Madison Square Garden Jr. There's no Staples Center Light. There's,
Isn't there the Nokia at the Staples Center?
Yeah, but there's not another Nokia next to it.
Nokia Diet.
Right. Yeah, it's another name of another thing.
Staples Zero.
Yeah, so there's Wembley Stadium and the Wembley Arena. One holds 90,000 people. One holds about 10 to 15,000 people. I went to the 10 to 15,000 people one.
Okay.
I had fun. A lot of shit happened. I haven't even told Steve all the stories yet. There's so much shit that went on. I saw this amazing show that we're going to talk about later on in upcoming episodes because I got a bunch of interviews, which I'll tell you guys about at the end, but we're going to spread them out over the next month or so. So if I put them all in one show, we say nothing.
No.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, it would just be interviews.
Straight up
An
interviews.
interview show.
Yeah. Who wants that? You? Well, wait. Too bad. Sorry.
Yeah, let's spread out, buddy.
So I saw Progress Wrestling, amazing show. I saw the Impact shows, and I hung out at an after party and got to meet the WrestleTalk people live and in person. So we're chatting out and hanging out with them. But one of the things that happened, I went to. What are you doing?
You shouldn't hit the table. Everything's shaking.
Was I hitting the table?
Yeah.
Well, you hit the microphone sometimes. To be
That was
fair.
my face.
No, but you sometimes tap it and wrap it.
Well, it's because I just want to make sure that's the emphasis and the things I'm saying.
Or you go up and leave all the time. You pee and go get water, and you're like, vamp. This is something that happened to me that was rather insulting. I went to this party, right? And there were a bunch of TNA wrestlers there and chatting with people and making new friends. I see Earl Hebner there. Earl Hebner on the show. He's been on the show many, many times. I see him there, and I say, hey, Earl, what's up? Put out my hand to shake it. He shakes it real fast and then just bolts. He just leaves. He doesn't say a word to me.
You got blown off by Earl Hebner?
I got blown off by Earl Hebner.
Man, I'm sorry. That sounds... What? Why couldn't you just corner him?
I thought about doing that, but I didn't want to make a scene.
You could have mom-catted him. Just grab him by the back of the neck and he just sort of, it neutralizes all the limbs.
I didn't want to make a scene. People don't know who I am necessarily, and I don't want to cause a ruckus. There's...
Well, you know what, Scott? This is really making me indignant because you traveled almost around the entire globe, the planet we live on.
Yeah.
And you saw Earl Hebner, and he blew you off. Let's talk to him. I want to talk to Earl Hebner.
I've tried calling him. He won't return my calls. I tried getting him in here. He won't talk to me.
No.
I don't know if you've done something about this.
I'll talk to him. I'm gonna call him up, and then I want you to.
Call him?
Yeah, I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him on his executive line.
He has an executive line?
Yeah.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah. When you got your own T-shirt, you get an own executive line.
Really?
That's
I'm
what I
telling
understand.
you, we got to make T-shirts.
Well, I don't know where we're gonna put this executive line.
Well, how about on the wall?
No, that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's dialing.
Okay. It is?
Yeah.
You mean it's ringing? Or?
No, I'm dialing.
Oh.
It's on.
Oh, okay.
You go away for a little while. You get all these foreign customs.
All they got is cans and string.
I'll ring him on the telly. Hello?
Earl?
Who is this?
Earl Hebner. It's Scott and Steve with Curtain Jerks.
Oh, brother.
Don't do that. What do you blew me off at the TNA after party in Wembley.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, sorry about that. So, how are you?
That sounds like you're not interested in how I am.
No, tell me about yourself.
Earl, you're being very passive aggressive
Am
right now.
I? I'm sure everybody, all your listeners want to hear what's going on with you.
Well, it is my podcast, so I would hope that listeners want to go on.
Oh, you
know
have a
what's going on.
podcast? That's cool.
You know about my podcast, Earl. You show up on here all the time.
That's very cool of you.
I don't like this, Earl. I don't like this new Earl. What's causing this?
Look, Scott, Steve, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm a big shot now.
Now you're a big shot, huh?
I'm a real big shot.
What makes you such a big shot now?
I've been to Europe.
Yeah, of course. You've been to Europe before.
What?
You've been to Europe before.
Yeah, but I've been to Europe in the 2000s.
I think you've probably been before too.
All right, I've been to Europe in the 2010s.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going with this. I'm sure you've gone before this.
Look, I can't help it. I'm just a big shot now. I'm just a real big shot.
Why does that make you such a big shot? Why can't you just be a person that acknowledges your friends?
Hey, when you've been to Europe and you've been all the way around the globe, doesn't matter who your friends are. It just matters where that paper's coming from.
Are you wearing sunglasses right now?
What?
Are you wearing sunglasses right now?
No.
It sounds like you're fiddling with sunglasses to either take them off or to straighten them on your face.
Stupid glasses chain. Can't get them off my neck.
Earl, where are you right now?
What? Right now?
Yeah, are you indoors?
Maybe.
You're indoors wearing sunglasses.
What? It's really bright in here.
It can't be that bright. You are acting like a real hotshot.
Hey, my stereo system's got a big flashing 12 o'clock on it, and I am just like, that is way too bright for me. Watch out, big city.
What city are you in right now?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm staying in a very modest-priced apartment in Tacoma, Washington.
You're not even in your chicken coop?
That's a big joke, okay?
Earl, you live in a chicken coop.
I only live in that chicken coop when I'm on tour.
Okay. Well, I thought you lived in it all the time.
No. I keep it in my garage, where it's right next to my bicycle when I go to the store, and I have to take my canvas bags when I'm going to the Trader Joe's.
Earl, are you swiveling a drink? I hear ice in a glass, and it sounds like you are swiveling a drink. Are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking a highball of flat cola.
All right, well, I guess you're not drinking. What flat cola are you drinking?
Tab.
Well, congratulations on finding some.
I eBayed it. I'm a big deal now, Scott Nava. And next time you try to talk to me at a party, maybe you should have something that captures my attention.
Earl, I traveled around the world too and went to Europe also. Doesn't that put me on a level playing field just as you are?
Well, welcome to the executive class. This is our hangout zone.
I'm not there. I'm not with you.
It's not a place, Scott Nava. It's a place of mind.
Okay, well, I guess I'm just maybe a more down-to-earth person? I don't know.
Maybe you are. But you know what? If you're going to dream small, you're going to live small.
All right.
And just because I'm a small guy doesn't mean I'm going to live small. I got big dreams, and I got to live them so hard.
All right, well, maybe I can learn from you. What's a big dream of yours that you're
Well,
living?
you can't take one of my big dreams. You're going to need to have a big dream yourself. But I can tell you a couple of my dreams.
Yeah, tell me a couple of your dweems.
All right. What was that?
Tell me a couple of your dweems.
All right. That's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
One day, I'm going to take a dump outside.
Why?
Ain't no cop in the land going to prosecute me. I just took a dump outside.
You haven't done this yet?
What? You think I go camping all the time?
Well, I know you're in a chicken coop, which is kind of like dumping outside if you poop in it.
No, we have a small portal on the bottom with a little trap door, and I pull it up, and then I do my business, and I close the trap door. I can't help it where it lands. If we're in the parking lot of some arena or outside the impact zone in Orlando, and they get poop on the parking lot just because that's where they parked my chicken coop, then oh well. I'm a dreamer, Scott Nava. I'm a big deal.
So, okay, you want to poop outside. What's another one of your dreams?
What's your dream? I told you one of my dreams.
Oh, jeez. I guess a dream of mine would be to see Earl Hebner in a bar in Europe and to have a nice, friendly conversation without being blown off.
Gosh, it sounds like that dream was quest.
It was Quest.
What was I drinking? I can't even remember.
You're drinking a beer. A pint of beer.
Just a pint of beer?
Mm-hmm.
Did I have one or two?
In your hand?
Yeah.
Just one, because you shook my hand with the other one.
Just trying to enjoy myself after a hard day's night. Work night. Hold on, wait a minute. I was working at night. It's a hard day of working at... It's a hard night's work. It was a hard night's work.
That took place during a whole day.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Accounting for the time difference. I was working during the day. Went to the after party at night.
Mm-hmm.
Took a small break to screw someone.
What? Who'd you screw?
I'm Earl Hebner. I screw all the time.
That's true. That could mean so many things.
That time I was screwing a screw on the side of my chicken coop to make sure it was tight. It was very cold in Europe, so I had to put a roof on.
Yeah, that's not really a good dish for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Earl, thanks for being on the podcast again. I'll start to dream big so that way I can be on an equal level as you.
All right, and I'll consider forgiving you for interrupting me while I was drinking that beer.
All right, I'm sorry.
You'll forgive it.
Thank you.
Man, Earl Hebner's changed.
Oh, I didn't say bye. I just hung up.
that was baller, man. That was super baller.
I guess that was my dream. My dream is I'm not going to say bye on the phone anymore. What'd you do?
I accidentally snapped one of these cords real hard and it hit the table.
Well, I guess I better not hit the table with my hands then, huh?
No, I messed it up. My bad.
Big news before we get to the Alex Shane interview that we have. CM Punk has supposedly quit the WWE.
No.
So much speculation.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's real. Don't know if it's not real. This is like AJ Styles' thing in TNA. I don't get it. I don't know. Is it real? Is it not? Steve, what do you think?
I think it's not real.
You think it's not real?
No.
I think it's real. Really? I think it's real. I think he's quitting.
No, he loves wrestling. Why would he quit?
Because
Why would he take his ball and go home, as they say?
it's his ball.
It's everybody's ball. He's sharing that
Yeah,
ball
but
with
it's
the
in
world.
a ball pin.
He's sharing that ball with the world. They never clean those balls, by the way.
Yeah, but
And a ball pin, they never clean those.
Oh yeah. How would you?
Actually, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put them all in laundry bags and then put them in the washing machine with bleach.
Yeah, but it's at a Chuck E. Cheese. They ain't got no washing machines there.
You take them to an industrial washing machine place.
Oh.
Think about all the Band-Aids and baby wipes and used diapers at the bottom of that baby pit, that ball pit.
That's why I go.
That's hideous. I think it's a work.
You think it's a work. I think it's a shoot. Insider terms.
I think that he's going to come back. I honestly do. There's too much money. His contract's not up till June.
Yeah, I
July
don't
or
know how that's
something.
going to work. I don't know if he'll get sued or something like that.
I don't think he's going to get sued.
Yeah, but if he just doesn't show back up to work, I don't know how that functions.
I don't know.
But if he's
It's not like they were treating him any good while he was there, am I right?
yeah, just showcasing him all the time, giving him merchandise and making money off of that and DVDs and
You know
getting
what,
to tell
Scott?
his story.
You know what, Scott? I don't think we're qualified to talk about this.
You don't think we're qualified to talk about
No,
this?
we're using those insider terms like we're part of the business.
Like a shoot
yeah, like a work. I don't feel comfortable using that. I think we're
or a
gonna,
pinfall.
yeah, I think we're gonna have to talk to some real experts about this. Luckily, we have both of those experts here today.
Do you mean the typical wrestling fans that we had on here once before?
Yeah, I mean those experts, the two typical wrestling fans.
I don't know. They were kind of a drag having them on here before. They got a good response from other wrestling fans, but I don't know if I want the typical wrestling fan to be on
I
here.
understand that Justin Powerhouse and Preston Perfection have a super underground podcast. I don't even know where you can listen to it.
I don't want to know.
Well, but apparently they have it, and they've been talking wrestling. So I figured
see 'em.
I wanted to get I wanted to get the pulse of the internet on this whole CM Punk thing.
They're in the doorway right now. Look at them. They're doing the Hulk Hogan,
They're
swinging
waiting
their
for us
hand.
to call. Yeah, they're waiting
swinging
for
their
us to
hand
call
up to
them
their
in,
ear
yeah.
like, can we get a little louder?
Yeah, I
And
can do.
they're doing the flexing.
Apparently, they want us to introduce them. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Curtain Jerks fans, we
I don't know
present
why we do
you-
this. I don't
What?
know why we do this.
we'd like to invite.
You'd like to. I don't want to.
We'd like to invite Justin Powerhouse and Preston Perfection to join us right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you for having us, guys. Good to
yeah.
be back.
Dig it.
Yeah, what's going on?
Dig
Hey,
it.
how you doing, Justin Powerhouse? Good to be back on the airwaves with you.
It's nice. It's nice to not have to Skype to one another.
Yeah,
To be in the same room.
It is how old are you now? You're 15, right? 15, 14?
Still 13.
Still 13. All right, 2 years later, still 13.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Thanks for picking me up for the show.
Hey, no problem, man. That's what a minivan with a lamp in the back is for, all right? So I think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you do, because you CM Punk, right?
Actually, that's right, guys. We want to have you on the show today and talk to you and find out how you feel about CM Punk being a work or not.
Get off our show.
Scott, come on.
I don't really appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, you guys thanks for having us, but if you're going to be rude about it, we can take our insider knowledge elsewhere.
I could text my stepdad and have him come over here and beat the shit out of you guys.
Dude, don't bother Gary, okay? Because, like, if I get a flat tire, I'm going to need him to change it.
Okay, I'm pulling that card. I'm pulling it.
Don't pull no cards right now, bro.
I'll pull that card.
Don't pull that card,
I'll
bro.
quit right now like CM Punk.
Well, that brings us to an interesting subject, man. Is that for real or for what?
Either way, like, the WWE can't handle him,
Exactly. It doesn't matter if it's a work or a shoot or whatever, man. It's not like they're competent enough to follow through with it.
They totally fuck it up.
Yeah, they probably already did F it up big time.
Yeah, totally. Like, WrestleMania 30's ruined.
Yeah,
It's the worst WrestleMania ever. I
gonna-
know it's not even booked and set, and there's matches aren't concrete, but it's ruined and it's the worst.
I'm like gonna order it, but I don't know if I'm gonna like watch it and enjoy it. So just keep that in mind, all right? Like, the WWE Network is such a sham, but I'm gonna prepay for the first 6 months just because, like, what am I gonna not watch wrestling? Because I could not watch wrestling.
Yeah, I totally could too. I could totally give it up because I hate him so much, but I'm buying it.
Yeah, you know what, Justin? You're right, man. Let's buy it.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm not sure what your insight in CM Punk was there, right?
I don't think there's any. I don't think there was any insight. I don't think you have any insight.
Scott has a very good point. You guys are sort of just qualified enough to talk about wrestling just because you watch wrestling, right? I mean, you are just deciding that WWE can't even handle their own storylines when they're, in fact, coming up with these storylines.
Yeah, but, like, who are they?
Yeah, I mean, like,
I've heard of Vince Russo. Like, he's amazing, but at the same time ruined wrestling.
Seriously, like, what's their, like, qualifications? What does their resume say to, like, have this company under them? I mean, they may be writing the storylines,
Yeah.
but they're not writing the storylines.
Yeah, like Eric Bischoff made NWO, which, like, was awesome, and then he ruined TNA. So, like, he's the worst.
Yeah, like, just because you do, like, really bad in one company, you're going to do really bad in another company. Or if you do really good in one company, you're going to do really good in another company.
Unless you're on TV, like, you're not qualified to do it. So if you're behind the camera, you don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, like, nobody knows the name of those cameramen, right? Like, what storylines are they writing? I mean, it's just, and, like, Fandango dancing? What's up with that? Why doesn't he just
Johnny
wrestle?
Curtis could just wrestle,
Why can't he just wrestle? Everybody thinks he's just got to dance,
Yeah, it's super lame.
God, so lame.
Johnny Curtis should just be Johnny Curtis.
Yeah, and then he should come out to no music. He should just wrestle because he can surprise people with his wrestling ability.
That's all you need. You don't need showmanship, but it'd be like super cool if at WrestleMania 30, like, he got his awesome dance segment with Daniel Bryan where they just say yes and dance.
Whoa, Justin, you just blew my mind.
I think I'm gonna submit to the WWE to be a writer.
No way, man! You got your writers packet together?
Yeah.
Sweet, me too.
Check it out. Look. Undertaker keeps his streak,
Nice.
and then Stone Cold comes back and finally fights CM Punk,
All right.
and then The Rock retires forever and just makes movies.
Yeah, like movies I'm not even gonna see. He should
Yeah.
just stick to movies, I'm not even gonna see them, but I'd see them. I mean,
Yeah, they're dumb except
Yeah.
for Faster. Like, I really like Faster.
yeah, it's good. That's a good one. I like that. Well, guys,
Stop. Go away.
I think this has reached the end of the segment we have allotted for you guys. Any parting words before you
I'll
go?
give you a bag of donut holes if you all leave.
Do I have to go?
No, Steve, you can stay.
Can I still have some donut holes?
Yes.
Well, I think we'll take the donut holes. I just want to let you know that, like, this is just the way things are. Wrestling's in a weird place, and it's like the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, the wrestling is totally, it's the worst it's ever been. I still watch. I don't miss anything. I pay for it all, but it's the worst.
Yeah, wrestling has never been this bad. I mean, when is this PG era gonna end? It's like as if the lines have blurred and people don't even know it's PG anymore,
No, I don't. I don't understand. Is there anything that you guys enjoy? Anything?
Yeah, guys, is there anything about professional wrestling that speaks to you on some sort of level that makes you enjoy it? I mean, anything at all.
Elijah Burke.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here's your donut holes. I don't want to have those guys back on.
You know what?
They
Look,
bum me out.
It's once every 2 years. We invite them to do. I'm sorry, we weren't qualified to talk about CM Punk leaving.
I thought we could have been. I thought we could have just given our 2 cents.
Well, now that they talked about it, I think like we can sort of slip it under the radar. I think it's a work because I think that they're at a. Paul Heyman's in the company right now. He's working with Brock Lesnar.
What, they hired Paul Heyman?
Yeah, seriously.
Yes.
The guy's a smart guy. I'm sure that he's probably in someone's ear just a little bit like, yeah, you know, it'll be a good story. And then CM Punk's like, CM Punk loves he loves being
Controversy.
Yeah, he loves that controversy. He loves pulling the wool over people's eyes. You know? I think it's definitely a hard sell, but I think they could get away with it. If he's like, hey, I'm burnt out. I need some time off. But also, let's make it sound like I quit. So that way when I come back, it's going to blow everybody's minds.
That could be the case. I'm only excited in that if he does quit, the potential shakeup it is in the wrestling world. Like if he shows up on Impact for a little bit, if he shows up in ROH, wherever, whatever happens, because we're just so used to everybody being where they are now. There's no shakeup. There's no comic crossover.
It seems like we're in that exciting place where, do you remember Wildstorm? Like Gen 13, and I think it was
Wild Things.
No,
yeah,
Wildstorm.
that lesbian scene with I know. What
I know when I say Gen 13,
Nev
people
Campbell
immediately assume that. But they're all absorbed by the DC universe now. Like all that kind of stuff. And I feel like we're getting to that point where maybe we can have gigantic free agents who will sort of disappear into other companies and reappear into other companies.
Yeah, I want some crossover.
I think that'd be really cool.
I think it'd be super cool.
Super cool.
Oh, it would be super cool. Speaking of super cool, one of the many interviews that I got over in the UK is with Alex Shane. You've probably heard him on Colt Cabana's podcast. Super funny guy, semi-retired pro wrestler, creator and executive producer of Sky's WrestleTalk TV. This interview was at a pub, right outside the pub, on a very, very cold English night, outside of Belushi's. This wild Rumble party. It was so cool. We'll probably talk a little bit about that right after the interview. And this is me, Alex Shane, and Tom Anstey of Wrestling Memes, who is my British guide for all of wrestling in England. So here is that. Enjoy. Scott here in England, having the full England experience. It's almost 1 a.m. It's almost time for the Rumble. I'm outside.
In the street
with Tom Anstey of Wrestling Memes, who's been my British guide of wrestling this whole week.
Yes.
And here with Alex Shane, creator of WrestleTalk TV, professional wrestler, not active anymore currently,
Semi-retired.
Right? Semi-retired.
The thing is, if I was active, I couldn't be stood here in the street in Shepherd's Bush, giving you the full English, as they call it here. Have you ever seen a Shepherd's Bush, anyone? It's so hairy they can actually put sheep in there. No, semi-retired so that I can hang around with you guys and get wasted and watch the Rumble.
Which Alex is very good at from personal experience.
I mean that's part of what we've done with you, Scott. Right? Already
you've given me 2 shots and
and he can't say no once they've been given to him.
It's the Ghostbusters rule, you know. Are you a guide? You say yes. It's like he's handing you a shot. It's like, well, if you want an interview later, you better start doing it now.
I thought you were going to say don't cross the streams. You never cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
That's also a shepherd's rule when the bush is too big.
Yeah.
Alex, you have created WrestleTalk, which I'm a fan of, and it's been a really great show for you and a great outlet. How did that come about for you?
It was what we call in the world of events taking place that you think are meant to be a beautiful disaster, because I was originally the last thing I did of note was I was the promoter for TNA's first UK tour. Before that I did Ring of Honor's UK shows, and I decided I had this like epiphany that I should move to India and try and set up wrestling there, as you do, and I went out there for a project that would eventually become Ring Kerr King. And then while I was in India, on the India-Pakistan border, a couple of months after the Mumbai attacks, not the place you want to be, I got a phone call from an old student of mine. He said to me, I want to bring back the company that I used to run, the FWA, would you come back and do it? I came back and did it. The guy was a banker, and after like 2.5 years, he decided to sort of walk away from it, and I'm left with all these promises. We're going to get British wrestling back on TV that I'd made publicly, and a load of equipment, and also the knowledge of how to edit videos, because after the first 3 months, we couldn't pay our editor anymore. So I said, well, I did media at college. To put into perspective, when I did media, and this is a true story, it was 2 video recorders, one that you press play on and one you press record on, and you synced it up with a dial. So I basically made WrestleTalk for YouTube, YouTube, just for shits and giggles, as they say in England. We were fortunate to get, who did we get for the first guest? It was Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana, yeah.
And we got Colt just after Punk had done his infamous promo, and I'd given Punk and Cabana their first sort of European tours. So I had an existing relationship with him. It went well, and within 5 months we got signed to a TV deal, and now we're TV producers.
And that's when I hopped on.
And that was when Tom got involved. So it's really just been one of those things that, like, if somebody had told me. But the funny thing was, because of WrestleTalk, we managed to get British Wrestling, its own show, back on TV. So we kind of had to go, not from A to B, we had to go to Z and then work backwards through the alphabet to get to the original goal.
All because you're like, yeah, I took a class. I had a recorder.
In media, GCSE media. I had actually, so that was it.
See, the thing about Alex, I think Alex is the busiest person I know. He has about, well, I think it's fair to say he's got about 1,000 irons in about 1,000 fires, and you're just like, and then, well, for example, we were at Progress today and we saw Alex, and Alex like, hey, how's it going? And he watches the main event. He's like, I'm back in a minute. Disappears off over here, and then never returns until we get to the Rumble.
I'm
party.
back here. Yeah, I mean, having the irons in the fires is because I've got an overactive mind and I like to be busy. The problem is, as I've got older, I've realised that to do all the things that I want to do, I'd have to live 10 lives, and I'd still feel that I hadn't done enough. So I'm at the point now I'm trying to focus on the things that are important, and WrestleTalk has become one of those things, really. So,
well, one of those things you mentioned inside, which I find fascinating, was magic. You did magic, and you're getting back into magic.
Indeed. Well, I actually I got into, first of all, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a puppeteer. And this is what I always think this is funny, right? Because if you look at puppeteering, you're basically one guy using a square with fictional characters presenting a morality play where you're in control, which is essentially booking, right? So, so when I was a child, I already had the element of wanting to be a booker. But then I discovered magic, and I'm like, you're doing an illusion where the audience knows it's not real, but they sit there and go, ooh and ah, which is basically wrestling. So, so I did magic until I was 12, ended up actually doing magic shows, like as a kid magician and stuff, and then discovered wrestling, and then those things combined, and that's where we are now. But I just got bitten by the magic bug again recently. So I've just started picking up some coins and some cards. I showed you guys a trick earlier.
You did.
How good was
I
that?
am confounded.
I wanted to break out my recorder right away and go, can we get this for a video and put it on the channel?
Yeah. It's but wrestling's still my first love, really.
So
that and Tiffany, who did I Think We're Alone Now. She's actually my first love. Oh, it's Francesca Wood. Hello.
Francesca
Hello.
Woods.
We're just doing an interview. Francesca Woods. Oh, are you still recording?
Yes. No. Join us.
Come.
Join in, Francesca.
I'm Scott. I'm a fan of the show, WrestleTalk.
Yes.
Lovely to meet you, Scott.
I brought Scott over from America to learn about England wrestling.
He's so nice. He paid for the plane ticket. Too.
Yeah,
What
you
a
wish I paid
sweetheart.
for the plane ticket. But yeah, you're now in on the podcast, so welcome.
Yeah, Francesca. Of course you can. You go get
All
a
right.
drink.
We'll get you later then.
Non-alcoholic, obviously.
I'm definitely not, but I'm actually very thirsty. That was a long train.
All right. Well, you enjoy that.
Thank you for joining
We'll
us.
see you soon.
Sorry about that, everyone.
All right.
Our crew just appears from
Bloody
nowhere.
Francesca Wood interfering in podcasts like she owns a bloody street that we are. It's a big street actually we're on at the moment.
She owns the Shepherd's Bush.
Oh my.
She's the puppeteer of the
She's the
Shepherd's
puppeteer.
Bush.
She is.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, where are we? Where were we?
So you talked about your loves of wrestling being one, and magic is obviously
And
one.
Tiffany.
And Tiffany.
I
Is
think
that
we're
why you
alone
just
now.
hang out in malls, just waiting for? That's the Westfield Mall over
It
there,
is
right?
indeed. That's what it is.
You just
yeah,
wait
yeah.
for a concert to
Apparently,
break
she
out?
did Playboy, and I've never seen it. So
What?
yeah, she did Playboy in her later years.
Get
so
outta here.
You
yeah.
know what? I have seen it.
Have you really?
Yes.
Wow.
But only because, for some reason, because I do the wrestling memes, people fairly regularly will send me pictures of nude women, nude wrestlers, and go, make a meme of this. I'm like, what do you want me to do? It's a naked woman. I don't understand it.
You're
You don't understand naked
No,
women?
I understand. I completely understand naked women, but I don't understand why these people are telling me to make funny jokes out of naked women. They're not
Do you
for
realize
joking.
how fortunate you are? You don't even have to look for porn anymore.
Yeah,
People
like-
are sending it to you.
Oh,
You're living the dream,
Living
Tom
the
Anstey.
dream. Living the dream. Yeah, that's something. It's along those lines. Yes. But
I'm
anyway.
worried I befuddled Scott there because he was making a valid point and I went off on a and I think we're alone
Oh,
now
no,
reference.
You should
we were
listen to
talking
our
about this
show.
earlier.
Our
Yeah, yeah.
valid points go out the window
We
for
were-
tangents all the
We
time.
were talking about this earlier. We want as many tangents as humanly possible.
Oh, I'll give you one more.
All right, go on.
Okay.
After Tiffany, my second, because you know, if you've got an American audience, I want to show my love for America.
Yeah.
As if Americanising British wrestling wasn't enough, which I'm often accused of. Do you remember the first series
It's
of the
making it accessible, I think is a good way of putting it.
I like to see it as evolving it, but there is a couple of people in British wrestling like you. I'm the Antichrist.
yeah.
You Americanized British wrestling.
People either love Alex or they absolutely hate him.
I'm the Marmite.
But they're
If
talking
that
about
doesn't-
you.
because I'm
But they're
now
talking about you.
That's I guess
because
that's
I'm associated with Alex now, I get the same brush occasionally if somebody knows who I am, which is perfect for me. I don't mind it at all.
But the real
porn
world.
you mind.
The
porn, that bloody outrageous.
The Real World. Do you remember
Yeah.
that show, the first
Yes,
series?
yes.
Julie from Alabama. I loved Julie from Alabama. Do you not remember her?
I have lost.
Which one is
She was Julie from Alabama. She was the dancer. There was
She was
Eric, the
Julia.
model.
Okay.
And he
The
had a
Miz.
thing with Julie from Alabama, and that was
Yes.
like my second crush. Anyway, we should move on. But I'm just.
Anyway, no, we should tweet her during the show is what
Yeah.
we should do. We should tweet both of them.
I want to go off on a tangent of my own,
Okay.
which was we earlier today. I don't know what order these podcasts will be coming out, but we spoke to Tommy End.
Yes.
And as he was telling his podcast, I was like, you need to speak to Alex Shane immediately. Because I have spent many a car journey with you on the way back from WrestleTalk or on the way to a wrestling show, whatever it is. But I have spent like just hours listening to you talk about conspiracy theories and the occult and stuff. And I mean, Tommy gave us his top 3 conspiracy theories
Yes,
in
the
the
top
podcast.
the top 3
What were the top 3? This
One
is
was
great.
about
Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers.
Okay.
Alex's flat mostly.
I think there's a couple inside watching the Rumble right now.
Exactly. Oh, we've seen a few, yeah. I mean, I think this is the point to us. Alex, what are your top 3 conspiracy theories?
Well, the thing is, I'm what I refer to as a recovering conspiracy theorist. And what I mean by that is just like all other drugs that are bad for you, where at the time you go, oh, I need more of this, and you go down a rabbit hole, it eventually leaves you in such a state that you lose touch with not only reality, but actually you isolate yourself from most of the people who are not I wouldn't say mentally disjointed because that's not fair. But what I mean is whatever my belief is, like I say recovering conspiracy theorist because actually getting into that stuff was amazing. It was, I think it's down to the fact that when you're a conspiracy theorist, you are desperately looking for some kind of certainty. I mean, if you think about this, and this is going to get a bit deep, but if you think about it, the fact that we are allegedly on a massive round rock spinning in the middle of nothingness, clung to it by an invisible force called gravity, that is enough to make some people go, I need to make sense out of this, right? And conspiracy theories give people the ability to go, I know categorically how things work. But I found great comfort in this realisation. I don't think that I, or anybody else, but that's not to knock them, I'll just say me for now, can possibly comprehend the sheer enormity of what is really going on in the universe, let alone and the planet, right? So I don't try and deal with it anymore. I just go, there are things that I think I know, there are things that I'll never understand, but I find great comfort in just trying to make sure that my contribution is the best it can be, and I continue to try and evolve as an individual. But the fact is, if the system is corrupt, which is the biggest conspiracy, we are all hopelessly, to quote Morpheus, linked to the system. We need the system, and the thing is, if you try and attack the system will rebel against you in some way, even your family and your friends or whatever. So the conspiracy thing's great, but you've got to realise that the system we've got, even though it's disjointed, it kind of works, because otherwise we wouldn't be here in inverted commas a free country where we can all have media at the ends of our fingertips. We get clean water. Okay, it's full of fluoride, but that's on my top conspiracy list. So that's my take on it. So I won't go down on it too much, but that's
That's exactly how I feel about the Great Khali. Everything that you said, you don't fight it. You just go, I don't understand what he's saying. If I say too much, they'll make him wrestle more, and that'll be weird. So I just roll with it and let it happen.
I just accept his presence.
He's a big guy.
He's big man chops, and that's it.
And
you
just let it happen.
Just
let it
go
happen.
with
As
it.
a recovering conspiracy theorist, you do like to occasionally, as we're driving on the road, go, you see that sign over there? Illuminati.
Well, no, I don't actually.
There's a perfect one in front of us right here. We got a Coca-Cola single
I don't
one.
actually believe in the Illuminati, but what I will say is there
Although
are
you did
things.
have a gimmick on it.
Oh, I did a gimmick on it.
Oh,
yeah, that was part of my recovery. I'm going to make art out of this, right? But there are certain things, like if you look at the Coca-Cola logo, the Nike logo, which most people think is a tick, right? It's actually
A tick?
A tick. You know, the Nike
the
logo
Nike
is a
tick.
tick. In fact, I have one here.
There you go.
Now, if you look at that,
Yeah.
most people think that's a tick. What that actually is the ring around the planet Saturn with the planet taken out of the middle. Because astrologically, what happens is when we see certain things, our brain, that's what the occult is, it's what is hidden. So our brain tries to fill in the gaps by going, oh, that's interesting to me. So that's why if you look at a lot of these logos, even the McDonald's logo, there's a whole big meaning behind what that logo is. It's not just an M. Now that stuff I find interesting, but there's a big difference between someone using clever marketing to make us go, oh, that logo sticks, and then saying there's an elite group of people that are, you know, working with Lucifer or aliens or whatever. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying it's not I can't do anything about it, can I?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Have you ever had a chance to sit down and talk with Jesse Ventura about this stuff?
I love Jesse Ventura. I think he's amazing. I feel I was American, I'd vote for him. But yeah. I mean, it's just it's one of those things. Yeah.
I think it's time to move on.
I'm
to the
so
point.
glad you said that. I was really.
We've got one more point before we'll wrap this up. Oh, somebody's listening over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think there's one more point that we've got Scott over here to learn about British wrestling. So I need you, Alex, to give Scott your pitch as to why British wrestling is better than everything else.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say. I think everything in wrestling has a place. What I would say, in not defence of British wrestling, but to illuminate somebody, we're the Illuminati now, right?
Yes.
To illuminate somebody to British wrestling, I would use this as an equation. If you look at England, you can probably fit 2.5 Englands in the state of Texas because of the size of its landmass. Yet you can go around the UK now and find at least 40 wrestlers, I would say, if not more, who are of such a sort of calibre that you can make a world-class indie promotion out
Well, I mean,
of
look
it,
at Progress
right?
today.
Look at the show today. Perfect example. And that was only that didn't scratch the surface of, I mean, it did, but there was still another 20, 30 guys out there who, you know, even in the training schools, there's so many good schools. So the point that you can get a world-class indie promotion just with talent from what is essentially a country half the size of one of your states means that England is producing more talent per square mile, I believe, than anywhere else in the world. However, when it comes to the actual industry of pro wrestling, we're pretty backwards in it. We're only just learning that. So I think what happened was British wrestling really was ahead of the curve. It was the first country to have a national television show. You know, like it was all sort of broken up in the States, right? And then WWE, well, what we didn't change with the time. So American wrestling just blew us out the water. I got into British wrestling because of American wrestling. So I'm very quick. I did an interview actually yesterday for a documentary that's being made. And I often get accused of Americanizing pro wrestling. And I say, listen, the point is that I am a fan of good wrestling, and the good wrestling that got me into wrestling was American, and I want to promote good wrestling in England. And if it's English people doing it, that's even better. But to me, I'm just a fan of wrestling. So I'm very pro British wrestling, but I also realise that we're an important part in a much bigger picture that's a worldwide thing. And my concern is maybe if we don't, as a collective industry with all the other indies in the world, sort of come together and appreciate each other's talent and work as a union, I shouldn't say a union, but work in harmony with each other,
right,
then there may be no industry left in the future because we're facing a massive corporation.
Well, from the wrestling side of it, it seems like the hunger's there. The hunger to prove that British wrestling...
It's because we've not eaten in years. There's no money.
We're starving. We're starving.
You guys, the gravy's delicious over here. The hunger to be known, to have more British wrestlers out there, because for American fans, they know Magnus, they know Regal, they know...
They now know Spud.
Yeah, they now know Spud, but there's sparse names amongst a group of, obviously, a lot of American wrestlers out there, but I would imagine for British wrestlers growing up that they go, I want to be known, I want to be the British wrestler that maybe I saw the Bulldog, and like there needs to be more of us. We need to be seen.
Definitely, and I think it's an amazing time now because I think the rest of the world is waking up and going, hold on a second, there's something happening over here. They haven't realised it's happening on British shows. They realise that British talent is good, and it's getting better. And eventually, indie fans. I mean, I was a fan of indie wrestling. That's why I did my old company, FWA, was probably the best European independent company of its generation. And we did ROH against Ring of Honor. And I wanted an English wrestling
You mean ROH
scene.
against FWA?
ROH against FWA, not
There we
Ring
go.
of Honor. Sorry, 8 Jaeger bombs or whatever it was, probably 4 actually. But so I wanted to have an indie company in the UK that could stand side by side with some of the American indies.
Right.
And we haven't got that yet. But what we have, I realised all of a sudden, is British wrestling as a collective is that indie. Does that make any sense? Like,
it does.
It's very fragmented. So, and that's really exciting for us. And the guys have worked really hard. And but without American wrestling, British wrestling wouldn't be what it is today. And that's it. And some British wrestlers won't want me saying that, but it's the truth.
Well, it's great. I mean, this was exciting to talk about, and I'm excited seeing the whole week here of British wrestling and seeing progress. And I hope that talking to you and it's just more exposure that another person just checks it out and watches. And thanks so much for your time, Alex.
I hope you can look at Nike trainers in the same way again.
And I hope that you won't be alone in a mall anymore. I hope someday that you'll feel a brush on your shoulder and it'll be Tiffany right there.
And we could be alone now. Amazing.
So thank you so much, Alex, and thank you, Tom. Let's go back inside and get some drinks and be warm.
All right, it's cold.
And we're back.
That guy's a hoot.
Yeah, I like that. I like that interview a lot.
Yeah, so he bought me drinks
Nice.
at the Rumble party.
Which is great because Scott doesn't drink.
I don't drink, and I knew I had to once they were set in front of me. There's no, sorry, I don't drink, but I'd like to talk to you later for an interview.
I like your casual cool guy interview, Scott. I like that, Scott.
Oh, boy, it was so cold outside. It was so fucking cold.
You guys sound like you're having a good time. It doesn't sound like you're losing fingers and toes.
Only at the end was I really feeling it. As you can hear, the wind picked up a bit, and it was really getting cold. But so at the Rumble party at Belushi's, where it was just packed to the rafters, there was just fans galore. It was Australia night the night before. I guess it's Australian Independence Day was that day. And then they booted everybody out, and then stuck all the wrestling fans in there, and then they have extra channels on Sky. They have all these extra WWE shows that we don't get. They had WWE Vintage, which they were showing beforehand. So they were showing clips from WCW Battle Bowl.
Whoa.
Which I'd never seen before. And so they were showing that. So I was watching that. And
that's where serial mascot characters fight to the death, right?
yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh, Lucky Charms.
Count Chocula.
And then one of them dies. Mm-hmm. Poor Count Chocula. So we were watching that, enjoying that, and then drinks were coming, and the crowd was so crazy. I wish I could watch every pay-per-view in England, because when CM Punk came out for the Rumble, they all sang Cult of Personality.
Nice.
With John Cena's theme song. So do the keep going. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. They were chanting that. They were chanting John Cena sucks during it, which
Nice.
if the night after WrestleMania will probably be the night that catches on if there's a bunch of Brits there.
I like it. Sounds like it's a live crowd mentality as if you were there, but you're in a bar.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And super loud. And then when Batista won, my God, I thought I was going to die.
What happened?
They turned.
Really?
Yeah, they hated it so much.
Does everybody hate that because he's coming back from out of nowhere?
I guess so. People threw things.
Didn't Edge do the same thing like 3 years ago?
He came back from injury. He was still on the roster and still was a guy, but just came back from injury. But yeah, they were furious. It was kind of cool because I wanted to cheer, but at the same time, I knew yelling diplomatic immunity probably wouldn't stop them from tearing my arms off.
Well, you also have to have diplomatic immunity to yell that.
do. You go over, Steve, you're an American. You go over to another country and you say diplomatic immunity, you're good. You're covered.
Really? Mm-hmm. All right.
It worked in Lethal Weapon 2.
That was a South African guy in America, though. That wasn't an American guy in South Africa.
Yeah, but you put one over there, it totally works.
All right.
We should go to South Africa.
When you say put one over, you mean put one over them by saying diplomatic immunity.
Oh, don't use more wrestling terms. Those two
Sorry.
jackasses will show back up.
Sorry.
All right, and it's time for Jerk Tweets. Each week, go to twitter.com and follow us at Curtain Jerks and send us your hashtag Jerk Tweets. First one we got here is Axe-Wielding Alex says, Gene Okerlund seems like such a nice guy. How did he get the nickname Mean? Well, since I don't have any true information on this, I'm going to clearly just speculate.
Yeah, I'm going to probably do the same.
How did he get the name?
He was never a wrestler, right?
No, I don't think so. Well, I mean, okay. Hulk Hogan had him team up with him. He did all these training segments with him to get him ready for this tag match.
Yeah, but before that.
Before that.
Yeah, before it was a gimmick to have him in the ring.
I mean, the easy answer would be he strangles hookers. That would be the easy answer to speculate that that's what Gene Okerlund did, but I don't think that's true.
You don't think he's putting an end to their tough lives?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they don't call him the sweet angel of mercy, Gene Okerlund, I guess. I just assumed it was because he was so good on the mic, they called him mean. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. Because the other thought was that he only has anal with hookers. And that's probably not it either. That makes him mean.
Well,
that
I
makes
think
him super
if
mean.
you said dry anal, I'd suppose so. I mean, but as long as they were both into it and they were using the proper amounts of lube and both being comfortable and had a lengthy, intimate conversation beforehand, making sure that negotiations, also knowing what each other's boundaries were, then he would be incredibly considerate, Gene Okerlund.
Yeah, and again, that's not the name, so that's probably not the case.
No.
So I think Steve's right on the money there.
Yeah.
What'd you say again?
That he was good on the mic?
That's it. He's so mean on the mic. That's
so
probably
mean
it.
on the mic.
It has nothing to do with hookers.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
I just keep thinking of the poor hotel owner who, like, Mean Gene Okerlund keeps coming up to him and he's like, hello. And he's like, the same room? Do you want the same room, Mr. Okerlund?
Don't you own a home?
Of course. I'll be taking my regular room.
GT 2010 says, you have Virgil as a manservant for 1 day. What tasks do you task him with?
I know what I'd task him with.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Completing an entire Gamblers Anonymous program, I think. Getting a sponsor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. That's, boy, that's practical.
That's really practical.
That's really practical.
Didn't he? You've told this story, didn't he?
I
He
did.
use your cell phone?
Yeah,
At a wrestling convention?
At a Comic-Con to check all of his bets for the day.
Nice.
Yeah, he had a lot of bets. What would I use?
Hey, baby, how you doing? Can I get my phone back? Yeah.
Yeah. Just let me check this. Your battery's dead. Boy, what would I use Virgil for a day if he's my manservant? Okay.
Maybe he could hold one of your belts.
True. Could hold one of my belts, but I feel he's so proficient at angrily counting $100 bills, right? Like he just holds them all. He holds 10, 15 of them, and he just angrily counts them off, just looking threatening while doing it. So I think what I would do is I show up at a deli, and I would have Virgil take all the numbers, all the they're gonna call your number, and wait, and have everybody standing there wanting to have their number be called, but he's got 30 numbers beforehand. So they're calling out the number, and he's just angrily shuffling through them, just looking mean at everybody else.
Excuse me, sir, are you going to buy a sandwich?
And be like, I'm thinking about it, and then I'll do the $1 Million Man laugh. While he's counting them off. That's what I'd do. I'd ruin everybody's day at a deli with Virgil.
How many pounds of prosciutto would you like? I'm sure there's a price that'll work for you.
Everybody's got a price.
Okay.
See? Ben Eyrie. Okay, it's Ben Eyriey.
At Twitter.
Yeah, that's it. How do you think you pronounce that? That's the trouble. You guys have the tricky names, and it's not spelled out phonetically. I don't know how to say it. Ben Eyrie says, who will take CM Punk's place in the WWE if he leaves? Heath Slater? Jack Swagger? Sin Cara?
Wow, Sin Cara, the straight edge silent star.
That's pretty good.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Yeah, SCSS.
SCSS.
The extra S is for star.
Daniel Bryan's kind of doing it. They were sort of mirror images of each other.
Kind of seems like he's eclipsed him already.
Yeah.
This is his year.
It is. That's true. It's funny when I think back, we were really lucky to see Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk live. Mm-hmm. And that was and now it seems like that would even be a bigger hot ticket item right now.
It would be.
Than when we saw it. And when we saw it was just like a fan favorite. Now it'd be
AJ was the
everybody
special
favorite.
guest referee.
Very cool.
Don't get any bigger.
Stop growing.
I want the match to be bigger, but I don't want AJ to get bigger.
Stay where you are.
Stay where you are. You're in a beautiful place.
Forever young.
I've got some bad news.
Whoa, Wade Barrett, thank you for joining us. You certainly weren't invited. What's going on here, buddy?
Well, that's the bad news. I wasn't invited yet. I showed up anyway.
Well, since you're here, we don't have a 20-foot tall podium, but you're welcome to use one of these soapboxes.
Can I get some decorum in here?
Yeah. Yes. Mr. Barrett, the floor is yours.
I've got some bad news.
All right.
The superstar that will be replacing CM Punk is me.
Wade Barrett.
That's right.
That's not a bad. I don't think that's bad news at all. You're really an exciting guy. I haven't seen you in the ring for a couple months, but you're always pretty badass.
That's the bad news. I won't be wrestling.
Oh, come on.
That's right. You look forward to my matches, don't you?
Yeah, a lot.
I won't be wrestling.
You're just gonna be more of the talking.
More of the talking. Do you like the talking?
Oh, well, it's got some moments, which reminds me.
I'm not gonna talk anymore. Bad news.
You're just gonna stand on the podium?
Do you like that podium?
No.
Good, because I've got some indifferent news.
What's that?
That I'm just gonna be sitting with a webcam.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I don't even know how to use it, so you'll just see my eye.
That is terrible. This reminds me, on Raw, Jerry Lawler just said, hopefully next week you won't be here. That's some bad news for you.
That's exceptionally bad news because Jerry Lawler's going to try and get in the ring with me and probably suffer another heart attack. That's terrible news.
That is terrible news. That is some bad news.
I've tried to talk him out of it.
Is that really going to be
bad news?
Is that going to be a match next week, or was it just some
spoiler alert?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to make sure because it just sounded like Jerry Lawler was calling you out. And then he sat down afterwards, and no one addressed it.
He did because he already thought he might have had a heart attack, which is terrible news. I'm a huge Jerry Lawler fan.
Yeah, I was about
that
to say,
is bad.
That is bad news.
Seriously, I
is
don't
there
like
any
that
other
at all.
serious bad news that you could talk about?
Yes, there is some bad news. The Miz will still be with the WWE while CM Punk leaves.
So you know what? That is bad news.
Bad news.
He's a bad guy now, right?
I don't know. Bad news is no one knows.
Yeah, I suppose that is the bad news.
More bad news.
What was that?
El Torito will be WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
The little bull guy?
Yes, the little bull guy will be WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
And so
he wins it from Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules.
Are we looking forward to that match between him and Hornswoggle?
I've got some bad news. No, you're not.
I'm not looking forward to that match. Okay.
I've got some more bad news.
All right, Mr. Barrett. I don't know how much more bad news I could bear, but...
Sweet Tea Tensai.
No.
Yep.
Come on, not Tensai.
Yes.
Tensai is a monster. He's he's such a great villain. Like, they've turned him into Sweet Tea. It's so weird. It's so nebulous. Don't tell me it's more bad news.
He is joining 3-man band, and there will be 4-man band.
All right. They're bad guys, right?
I don't know.
Maybe,
some people like him, some people hate him.
Maybe he could be like the drummer, like Animal from the Muppet Show, and he could be sort of like the really violent one that they all have to keep in check.
I suppose he could, yes. They'll put a chain on his neck and do that. I've got even more bad news.
All right,
Do you want to know the bad news? Do you want to know the worst news of it all?
Is this the baddest news?
This is the worst, baddest news that there is.
All right, Mr. Barrett. I'm not sure I want to hear it, but...
These are all storylines written by typical wrestling fans.
No.
Yes, Preston, Powerhouse, and...
Justin Perfection?
Justin Perfection wrote these storylines, and they've all been approved. Bad news.
Oh, wait. Isn't it Justin Powerhouse and Preston Perfection?
Bad news is I didn't really meet them. I just took what they gave me and read it on the air.
Wow. You know what? Isn't it the worst when people that aren't involved with wrestling try to talk to real wrestlers?
Yes. Stop talking to me.
All right. Okay. Mr. Thank you for joining us, Wade Barrett.
You're not welcome.
Oh, that's the word. Man, you know what the bad news is? Rudeness. That's bad news.
Rudeness and messing with the audio as he did.
Yes, it is.
God. All right. I've got a special treat for everybody. We had the Alex Shane interview, but one extra bonus treat to close out the show. You know what it is?
I think so.
Yeah, I told you what it was.
Yeah.
Another embarrassing wrestling encounter.
This is where we'd put in the embarrassing wrestling encounter theme music right here.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been composed yet.
Yeah. Well, it'll be put in there post-haste.
Lots of honks.
So many honks.
Yeah.
This one sent from Michael V. I love these. Please send these to curtainjerks@gmail.com of your embarrassing wrestling encounters. I've had plenty. I've added more to the list from my trip. Hi, Scott and Steve. Here's an embarrassing story of when I met primetime players the day before WrestleMania last year. So that's WrestleMania 29 in case you're listening to this in the future. my buddies and I got up around 7 a.m. to go to the opening of the WrestleMania Superstore so we could meet primetime players. I bought a WrestleMania program to have signed and asked my buddy what he was going to do. He just laughed to himself and pulled out a $5 bill and a $1 bill. Around 10 a.m., we finally get to the table to meet PTP. Things started off nice and casual when my buddy puts down the $5 and says, Abraham, and then puts down the $1 and says, Washington. In a split second, Titus's face goes from happy to awkward politeness to horror. They both sign the money really quickly and ask us to leave. The look of disappointment in Darren Young's eyes told the rest of the story.
Wow. Wow. I was really hoping that that was his weird introduction to getting some sweet dirt on Abraham Washington, but it sounds like we're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, could you please? There's representatives here.
Look,
we might win the tag title
my
soon.
publicist can fire me, okay? Get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, man, I love those. Please, if you have an embarrassing wrestling encounter, send those to curtainjerks@gmail.com, and we will read them on the podcast.
This is true.
So, thanks to Alex Shane. Watch WrestleTalk TV on Sky in the UK or on youtube.com/WrestleTalk TV, and go friend Alex on Facebook, because he doesn't do the Twitter. He doesn't do all these other things, but he's on the Facebook. He's got thousands of friends on there, and he's plugging stuff all the time. So if you want to keep abreast of Alex Shane, so big thanks to him, and really enjoyed that interview. And
tell them Curtain Jerk sent you.
That's where it fits in, not in the videos where it's us.
Yeah, it's true.
Very excited to announce that in the upcoming weeks, we'll be releasing more interviews I got in the UK from Progress Wrestling, which we'll be talking about, Rosie Lee, Ali Alexander, Tommy End, which you're going to fucking lose your mind over.
I'm looking forward to it.
And co-owner of the company, Glenn Joseph. Also, Tom Anstey from Wrestling Memes. That's right. We talk about it forever on the show. Now you're actually going to hear him talk. We have a conversation. And Rockstar Spud from Impact Wrestling.
Nice.
Spoiler alert. He doesn't put up with us bloody Yanks.
No?
No.
Can't hang?
Oh,
Can't hang?
Can't stand us. Can't stand us bloody Yanks. But he was a delight, and I met with him actually later. It was a Skype interview, but I met him later, and I'll tell that story later on. So you got to subscribe to the podcast. You got to give it 5 stars. You got to rate and review on iTunes. You got to let these people know on Twitter and on Facebook for Alex's purpose that you heard him on the podcast, and you loved hearing him, and you want to hear him again. So, for Curtain Jerks, I'm Scott Narver.
And I'm Steve Sears.
Enjoy your wrestling, kids!
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.